Hi all of you. Welcome to Narayana Online Digital Classes. Today we are going to see paper discussion of March 2021, 17th March 2021 afternoon session paper. So let's see the chemistry paper discussions which were on only memory based questions, right? So here the first question comes. So a matching was asked in the first question, and if you see that the first and the second columns, first column is the type of purpose and the second column is the type of material they asked here, and the first one is artificial sweetener, antiseptic, preservative and glycerol ester of stearic acid. So respective purpose of the material, and the material was mentioned in the column 2. And we know that the artificial sweetener among the 4 options is nothing but sucralose. So we can match this one. Artificial sweetener is sucralose. And then if you take that this antiseptic material, so antiseptic material is nothing but bithionol. And food preservative or generally preservative material, we can say that as sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate. And ester of stearic acid, the ester of stearic acid, we can say that as sodium stearate. And now just match them. So first one, option A, it is 4, and option B, it is 2. So 4, 2, we have the combination in first option. C is 1 and D is 3. So that's a matching. So this is the sum of the compounds and their purpose as framed as matching question. Right. Now let's go for the second question given. Geldahl's method is applicable for. In practical organic chemistry of first year NCERT, it was mentioned that Dumas method, Geldahl's method for estimation of nitrogen. And while estimation of nitrogen by Geldahl's method, definitely from selected compounds we cannot apply the Geldahl's method for the particular selected materials. And in NCERT it was mentioned a point that Geldahl's method is not applicable for diazonium salts, diazonium compounds, and nitro, particularly this nitro group containing compounds and pyridine compounds. So here diazonium salts, particularly type of materials, and nitro group common containing compounds and pyridine containing compounds where nitrogen was in the benzene ring. So thus materials we cannot apply Geldahl's method. So first and second and fourth options we can eliminate, and then Geldahl's method is applicable only for amines here as per the given options. Estimation of nitrogen by Geldahl's method. Okay, right. So let's see the next question then. So C12H22O11 on hydrolysis giving glucose and fructose. And next one, the glucose is now converting into respective alcohol and carbon dioxide. Which of the following enzymes are used in above reactions respectively? So it is purely enzyme catalysis reactions. Enzyme catalysis reactions. Cane sugar will be converted into glucose and fructose or sucrose. Sucrose can be converted into glucose and fructose by an enzyme invertase. So invertase and zymase are the enzymes which are used for this purpose. So invertase role can convert only sugar, just sugar or sucrose into glucose and fructose. And then the glucose is now converting into respective alcohol and carbon dioxide, and for that the enzyme is zymase. So invertase and zymase are the enzymes, and this is enzyme specific reactions. So as per the list, we can say that the answer is invertase and zymase. Okay, right. So let's go for the next question then. Fructose is an example of glucose and fructose. Glucose and fructose. So glucose containing aldehyde and fructose containing keto. So aldohexose and ketohexose when you compare, so we can surely say that the fructose is a ketohexose. Fructose is a ketohexose. Okay. So let's see the next question then. So this is The question given two statements, statement 1 and statement 2, and validity of the statements. 2-methyl butane. So I am taking that butane and 2-methyl butane. So 2-methyl butane is oxidized by KMnO4 to convert 2-methyl and here we can write as OH to butanol, 2-methyl to butanol. And this is the reaction as statement 1. And we can say that as it is a tertiary carbon will be oxidized. Alkanes, only one oxidation reaction possible for alkanes, that is also for tertiary alkanes. So tertiary carbon will be oxidized to respect to alcohol by KMnO4. Yes, it is possible. So we can say that statement 1 is true. And statement 2, if you see that an alkane is easily oxidized by KMnO4, that's not possible. So KMnO4 oxidation is very difficult for alkanes, and particularly tertiary alkanes are undergoing oxidation to give tertiary alcohols. That is the only possibility with KMnO4. And according to that, we can say statement 2 is false. So first statement is true and the second statement is false. So which options are correct to identify? So statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. So we can go for option 3. Okay. Now, so let's see the next question then. Primary, secondary and tertiary amines can be distinguished by. Primary, secondary and tertiary amines can be distinguished by. So chloroform and KOH, no, we don't use that. And carbon disulfide in mercury chloride also not useful. And definitely we can say that tosyl chloride followed by NaOH, tosyl chloride followed by alkali, we can use for identification of primary, secondary and tertiary amines by Hinsberg reagent. So by using that Hinsberg reagent we can distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary amines. And suppose if you are taking that primary amines, so C2H5NH2 when you are taking that, and tosyl chloride if you are taking that, so C6H5. So I am writing SO2Cl here. If you are taking that, remove the HCl and write the product we can write. So C2H5NH, here S double bond O, C6H5 is the compound you will get, which is soluble in alkali. Soluble in alkali we will get. And suppose if it is secondary amine, and the secondary amine we get similar kind of complex and similar kind of compound which is insoluble in alkali. Whereas if you take tertiary amine and there is no hydrogens to react, and so that no reaction with tosyl chloride. So tosyl chloride followed by alkali treatment is used commonly for identification of or distinguishing of primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Right? And let's go for the next question then. How many carbon-carbon sigma bonds are present in macetyl oxide? Macetyl oxide. So as we know that macetyl oxide contain 4 carbon connectivity and having one methyl group here and having one keto group here. So total you can say that 5 carbon connectivity, not 4. So you can say that here double bond O. So total how many carbon-carbon sigma bonds if you count them? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 we can say. Okay. So C2C3 bond is double bond. So total they are asking only sigma bonds are there here, as we have only 5 sigma bonds are there in a given molecule. Macetyl oxide. Macetyl oxide. Okay. Right. So let's go for the next question then. So this is the question given here. This is the question given here. An alkene is given and alkene is allowed to treat with HBr, and we have 2 compounds. We have 2 compounds. So A as well as B. One is simply we can say Markovnikov, and other one is simply we can say anti-Markovnikov. So Markovnikov and anti-Markovnikov commonly we can say that, but generally while adding this HBr here, so as the first electrophilic addition takes place for double bond, and so that it produces respective carbocation. So among the two carbocations, if you consider, so positive charge here and positive charge here, which has more alpha hydrogens and which is primary or secondary or tertiary, identify that this carbocation is a secondary carbocation and this carbocation is primary carbocation. As secondary and primary, if you consider, secondary carbocation is more stable than the primary carbocation. So we can say that A is more stable and formed with faster rate. Via carbocation mechanism, electrophilic addition reactions for alkenes. Okay. Right. So let's go for the next question then. Question number 9. FeCl3 is reacted with oxalic acid in presence of KOH. Oxalic acid and KOH, when you are taking that, find secondary valency of iron in product. And we know as per Wenner's theory, the secondary valency always indicate that the coordination number. Secondary valency always indicate the coordination number. So the coordination number of the complex we have to identify around the iron. So around the iron, what will be the coordination number once if the FeCl3 is reacting with oxalic acid in KOH? We know oxalic acid in KOH, it is nothing but forming as oxalate ion, C2O4 minus 2 ion, oxalate ion. And as it is oxalate ion, so we can say that Fe plus 3 is combining with 3 C2O4 minus 2 ions and forming FeC2O4 thrice with minus 3 charge. Minus 3 charge. So this is the complex we can get. And as we know that total 3 oxalate ions are combining and each oxalate is a bidentate ligand. Each oxalate is a bidentate ligand. So C double bond O, O minus, C double bond O, O minus. So we can say that this can donate a pair of electron and this can donate a pair of electron, so which act as a bidentate ligand. So this bidentate ligand, total 3 bidentate ligands we have, and each bidentate ligand density is 2 and total 3 to 6. So total 6 pairs of electrons are donated towards iron. So that density around iron and acceptancy is about 6 lone pairs. So that the iron secondary valency or coordination number we can say as 6. So that is the answer for this question number 9. Right. And let's go for the next question then. So this is question number 10. So this is compound A. Compound A molecular formula has been given C7H7N2ClO, and which is on reaction with alcohol, giving the product as anisole. So anisole is the product. So one of the product is OCH3 plus B and C and N2. If we are getting the compound N2, then the reactant should be containing diazonium salt. So reactant should have diazonium salts conditions. So as we have N2 and Cl, so it will be in the form of diazonium salts. So option A and option B and option C and option D, if you verify, so what are the possibilities? So in which cases we have diazonium salts category? So N2 plus Cl minus we have, N2 plus Cl minus we have. So possibilities are either option 2 and option 3. Now, as we know that when N2 plus is going out as N2, and definitely here it is taking hydrogen from the neighboring material. So the alcohol is reducing the compound, means alcohol itself undergo oxidation. So alcoholic hydrogen is given to this N2 plus position, and so that alcohol undergo oxidation and this compound undergo reduction. So we can say that the alcohol will be converted into aldehyde. So N2 plus Cl minus and OCH3, which is on treatment with alcohol, alcohol will be oxidized to respective aldehyde. So possibility is, this is option 2 we can say. Okay. So they gave anisole. So overall reaction I am writing. Overall reaction I am writing here. So N2 plus Cl minus containing OCH3 here plus C2H5OH finally gives the product here as anisole, methoxybenzene as it is without any change, plus N2 plus what we have here HCl plus CH3CHO are the compounds. Overall reaction. Okay. Right. So let's go for the next question then. So this is question number 11. 140.5 grams benzoyl chloride is reacted with excess of diphenylamine to give 210 grams of N-, and diphenyl benzamide. They only mentioned the reactant and the product. Right. And calculate the percentage yield of the product. Percentage yield of the product. As we know that limiting conditions if you apply, 1 mole of benzoyl chloride, 1 mole of benzoyl chloride can produce only 1 mole of N-, and diphenyl benzamide. So 1 mole maximum can give 1 mole. That is theoretical. So what is molecular weight of 1 mole of benzoyl chloride if you consider? So C6H5COCl. So 6 carbons we write 72, 5 hydrogens 5, and carbon and oxygen 12 plus 16 that is 28, and chlorine we can write 35.5. So if you sum up them total we can get the value as 140.5. We can get the value exactly as 140.5. And what is 1 mole of N-, and diphenyl benzamide molecular weight if you calculate? So 3 phenyl groups we have total. So 3 phenyl groups means 72 plus 5 that is 77. So 77 into 3 we have plus carbon plus oxygen together, that is how much we can write now 28 plus 1 nitrogen extra 14. And if you calculate the total value 377s, so total we can write the value as 273. Molecular weight of the compound is 273. Molecular weight of this compound is 140.5, which means that 140.5 grams of this compound is capable of producing 273 grams of this compound if it is 100% efficient. But they gave only 210 grams of the compound. So percentage yield will be observed mass. How much is the observed mass of the product? By theoretical mass into 100. So what is observed mass? 210. What is theoretical mass? 273 into 100. So simplify that and identify the value. Okay. So the value is very close to 77%. So theoretical yield of the value is, of the reaction is 77%. Okay. 1 mole is capable of giving 1 mole. That is the only idea. Right. Let's go for the next question then. Element with atomic number 24 is expected to show the following common oxidation states. As we know that element with atomic number 24 is nothing but chromium. As it is chromium, so chromium configuration generally what we write now 4s1, 3d5, and which is valency configuration. And having the common oxidation states +2, +3 and +6 are the common oxidation states as per NCERT. As per NCERT data, D block elements, chromium maximum can show oxidation numbers of +2, +3 and +6 commonly. So we can say that +2 to +6 as the common values. +2 to +6 are the common values as per NCERT D block. Okay. So next question. Match the column. Again, match the following were given. And first one is cationic complex, anionic complex together. The second one is aqua complex. And the third one is triammonia and trichloride complex. And fourth one is cis exclusively. Cis molecule is mentioned, cis ion. Now, when you are taking this compound, so there is a chance of what isomerism. So this compound we can mention CuNH3,4 and CuCl4 can show by inter-exchange of the ligands, we can get the isomerism called coordination isomerism. Coordination isomerism we can get. And option A, definitely we can say that as a coordination isomerism. And option B, and because of having aqua complex, so CO, H2O, 6Cl3, we can mention that as CO, H2O, 5Cl, and we can mention H2O outside here and Cl2 also. So Cl2 dot H2O also we can mention. So the species which are differed by number of water molecules inside and outside the coordination sphere, that we can say that as hydration isomerism or solvation isomerism. And coming to that, option C, which is of MA3B3 type of compound. MA3B3. When you are taking that MA3B3, we can surely say that A, B, B, B. So we can get here as a form, definitely. So this is nothing but fact form. So facial and meridional, two geometrical isomers will be obtained for MA3B3 category. So CONH3 thrice Cl3 can show now geometrical isomerism. And here in the option D, exclusively they mentioned cis only. As it is a cis only, so cobalt, as it is hexadentate, total coordination number 6, and as it is cis conformer, so we can take this is En and En, chlorine and chlorine. So there is no chance of getting this total species into two identical halves. So definitely which is optically active. As which is optically active, so it can show optical isomerism. Now check the options. For A, it is Q. For B, it is P. And for C, it is S. And for D, it is R. So we have only one option available, that is option 1. Next question then. Again, matching with ores. Metallurgy, some of the important ores list was given, and from the list, the common names were mentioned: bauxite, hematite, magnetite, malachite. The ore names and respective common formula of the respective ores were mentioned. We know bauxite is the ore of aluminium. Bauxite is the ore of aluminium. Hematite and magnetite. Hematite and magnetite both are the ores of iron. So hematite is Fe2O3, magnetite is Fe3O4, and malachite we can say that directly as copper ore. It's the ore of copper, we can say that. So we can mention direct option as 1. A, P, B, Q, C, R, and D, S. So next question here, for the reaction, N2O4 gives 2NO2, Kp is given and Kc is given. Determine temperature if R is 0.083. And they are asking that for a given reaction, Kp and Kc relation, Kp is equal to Kc into RT power delta N, we can say. And for the given reaction, what is delta N then? Delta N is equal to number of moles of products which are gases minus number of moles of reactants which are gases. 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. And Kp is given as 600.1 is equal to Kc 20.4, R value 0.083 into temperature. So temperature is equal to so 600.1 by 20.4 into 0.083. So 0.083. If you simplify, the temperature you are going to get is around 354. temperature value will be 354 Kelvin you will get. That is the answer for the given question number 15. Right? Next, 1 mole aqueous solution of K4FeCN6 having alpha value 0.4 has the same boiling point as 18.1% by weight solution of non-electrolyte A. So two solutions combinations were mentioned. So first solution and second solution have the same boiling point. If they have same boiling point, we can say that delta TB of solution 1 should be equal to delta TB of solution 2. We can apply that. And delta TB of solution 1, we can write I into Kf Kb as it is boiling point Kb into molality of the first solution is equal to I into Kb into molality of the second solution. And as Kb is common for both, so remove the Kb. And in the second case, directly they give that I. As it is non-electrolyte, so I value is directly we can say as 1. So molality of second solution we can write. And for the first solution of K4FeCN6, alpha is given 0.4. So we can write that K4FeCN6 in solution medium can give 4K plus and FeCN6 minus 4 ion. 1, 0, 0. So 1 minus x and we write here as 4x and x. And they only mentioned x is 0.4, alpha is 0.4. So this value is 0.6 as x is given as 0.4. So 1.6 and here it is 0.4. So what is I value we can write now? The I value is sum of them total. So on summation this is 2 and this is 0.6. So we can write 2.6. Actual number of particles by expected number of particles, the ratio is always called Van't Hoff factor, 2.6. So we can write 2.6 into m is 1 we can write. So which is equal to m2. So m2 means they particularly mentioned 18.1% by weight of solution. Molality we can write weight. How much was mentioned? 18.1 grams. By molecular weight we don't know into 1000 by weight of solvent. So 100 minus 18.1. Total solution weight was given as 100 grams. In that 18.1% means that 18.1 grams of solute and remaining 100 minus the value gives solvent weight. So weight by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent in grams, which was given here as 2.6. So if we solve this expression, by solving the expression, we can write value of A, molecular weight of A. A is equal to 18.1 into 1000 by 2.6 into 100 minus 18.1, that is nothing but 81.9. So if we simplify this value total, we will get the value as 85. So molecular weight of compound A is 85. Okay. Next one, linear species is. So among the 4 molecules, N3 minus we can write N, double bond, overall minus charge. So linear species is azide ion, N3 minus, which is we can call as azide ion. And NO2 if you take that, N double bond O, dative bond O having single electron, which is odd electron species and which is not exactly linear. And OCl2, OCl, Cl, 2 lone pairs, which is bent shape. O3 also bent shape. So these are the shapes of respective molecules and species mentioned. So among all linear species is azide ion, option 1. Which of the following process entropy of system is decreasing? Entropy of system is decreasing. Entropy is the measure of degree of disorder. Degree of disorder the ordered state becomes disordered state. Then entropy is increasing, and disordered becomes ordered, entropy is decreasing. Okay, so if you identify that always when temperature is decreasing, whenever temperature is decreasing, we can say that the disordered state is gradually losing and the ordered state has been framed. So that whenever temperature is decreasing, generally we can expect that particle movements will almost confine and they lose their freedom, and automatically so entropy is gradually decreasing, we can expect. So freezing of water at 0 degrees. We know that water, whenever it is converting into ice, so water is in liquid state and ice is in solid state. So disordered state is converting to ordered state. So definitely entropy is decreasing. So in option A, entropy is decreasing. And freezing of water even at minus 10 degrees. Even minus 10 means below 0 degrees. So definitely there will be a drop of entropy. Yes, there will be a drop of entropy. So we can say this also decrease in entropy. And another one we can say normally delta S of system is equal to Q reversible by temperature. If Q is positive, delta S is positive. That is one way. And normally by using process name, we can say that here. So A, freezing of water at 0 degrees and freezing of water at minus 10 degrees Celsius, and both the cases we can say here entropy is decreasing because of change of states. And adsorption of H2 on Pb. So whenever hydrogen gas is depositing over the metal surface, adsorption, whenever the substance is getting deposited over the metal surface, then also we can say that decrease in entropy as gas is accumulated over the metal. So C, also there is decrease in entropy. D, dissolution of NaCl. So when solid NaCl is dissolved in water, NaCl is going to distribute throughout the solution. When sodium chloride is distributed throughout the solution, it forms solution process, actually it is. So solute, solvent, pure materials, and they were ordered states expected to be, but on combination as they are forming solution, so definitely solution entropy is always positive. So entropy is increasing, but they told decrease in entropy, so D is not the option. And let us go for E. N2, 3H2 gives 2NH3. Total 4 molecules are combining to give 2 molecules. 4 becomes 2. As the number of particles decrease, automatically entropy decreases. Number of particles decrease, entropy decreases. So the answer A, B, C, E are happening with decrease in entropy. So we can go with first option. Okay. The next one, 2A plus B2 gives rise to AB, an elementary reaction. As it is an elementary reaction, directly write rate law for the given one. So R is equal to K into concentration of A whole square into concentration of B2. If the volume of container is reduced to 1/3 of initial, then what is the final rate to initial rate? So this is R initial, and suppose if you take R final, and concentration formula is number of moles by volume. So whenever volume is decreased to 1/3, then concentration will be increased by 3 times. So K into concentration now become 3A whole square, and the concentration of B2 becomes now 3B2. So total we can write here 27, 3 square into 3, 27 into K into concentration of A whole square into B2, which is nothing but we can write initial. So final rate is 27 times of initial rate. So answer for the given one is 27. So then next one, if you see, spin only magnetic moment in ground state of iron is x into 10 power minus 1. And if you are taking that iron, so what is configuration of iron? valency configuration, we can write 4s to 3d6. So in 4s, as it is paired up electron, and in d6 we have 4 unpaired electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is d6 configuration, and number of unpaired electrons become 4. And we can say that mu is equal to root of n of n plus 2 Bohr magnetons, spin magnetic moment. N value 4, so we can write root over 24 Bohr magnetons. Root over 24 Bohr magnetons. That is the value, we can say that. Okay. And they are asking the value in terms of x into 10 power minus 1. X into 10 power minus 1, we can say. And this is around 4.9 actual value and 4.93 in simplified values. And we can mention it as 49.3 into 10 power minus 1, or simply to the nearest integer if you round off, 49 into 10 power minus 1. So answer is 49. Next, a conductivity cell when filled with NaCl solution is found to have conductivity 0.14 and resistance 4.09. And we know R is equal to rho into L by A. And if you are taking reciprocal, so we can say that as conductance is equal to, conductance into L by A, we can write as cell constant here. So cell constant is equal to conductivity, we can mention. So first, by using that, determine the cell constant value. So cell constant is equal to K by conductance. So K value was mentioned to be 0.14, by conductance means 1 by resistance. So into 4.09 we will write. This is cell constant for the cell given. When the same cell has been used for HCl solution. So resistance was found to be 1.03 ohms, and they are asking K. So K is equal, again we write cell constant into conductance. So cell constant we got 0.14 into 4.09, and conductance is again 1 by resistance. So 1 by 1.03. So this is K value we can get. Okay. So on simplification, so whatever the value we can get, just they are asking the value in terms of x into 10 power minus 2. X into 10 power minus 2. And the total value, if you simplify, we can get 0.56. As we can get 0.56 here, so we can mention the value 56 into 10 power minus 2. So answer for the given value is x is 56. Number of atoms in 20 ml of Cl2, 20 ml of chlorine at STP. We know that normally 1 mole of chlorine at STP has the volume 22,400 ml. 22,400 ml, which contain 6 into 10 power 23 molecules. Right. As chlorine atomicity is 2, so we can say that 2 into 6 into 10 power 23 atoms of chlorine, so which has the volume of 22,400 ml. Then 20 ml contain how much? Cross multiply. So we can say that number of chlorine atoms is equal to 20 into 2 into 6 into 10 power 23 by 22,400. So simplify and mention the value in terms of x into 10 power minus 10 power plus 21. 10 power plus 21. So if you simplify that, the nearest answer what we can get here is approximately 10 power 21 is the answer. So 1 into we can get. so that we can mention X value as nearest to 1. Okay. If NaCl is doped with NaCl is doped with 10 power minus 3 mole percentage of SrCl2, which means that for every 100 moles of NaCl, we are adding 10 power minus 3 moles of SrCl2 we are adding. Per 100 moles of NaCl, 10 power minus 3 moles we are adding. And then per 1 mole of NaCl, then how much we can write now then? So 10 power minus 3 by 100, 10 power minus 5 moles of Sr plus 2 should be added. We know that for every 1 Sr plus 2 addition, 1 Sr plus 2 charge. So plus 2 charge is almost equal to 2 sodium ions. So when 1 Sr plus 2 is added, so one of the sodium position is occupied by Sr plus 2, and aside of that, 1 Na plus position will be vacant. Right. So Sr plus 2 charge. So plus 2 charge ion is occupying one of the site of sodium, and because of the plus 2 charge, one more position of sodium will be empty or vacant. So one Sr plus 2 addition can create one sodium plus ion vacancy site. So 10 power 5 minus 10 power minus 5 moles of Sr plus 2, which means that number of vacancies, cationic vacancies we can say, is equal to 10 power minus 5 into 6 into 10 power 23. So we write that 6 into 10 power 18. 6 into 10 power 18. So approximately. So what the value of X then? Therefore, X is equal to 18 we can say. Next, during the recovery of ammonia in Solvay process, the byproduct formed is, normally ammonia soda Solvay process, we can say that ammonia and CO2 and H2O, first we can get that as ammonium carbonate, and ammonium carbonate, ammonium bicarbonate, and again it will be converted into sodium bicarbonate, and sodium bicarbonate now will be converted to sodium carbonate. That is actual purpose of ammonia soda Solvay process. So you are getting that as ammonium bicarbonate when you are taking this, and in the process the CO2 actually come from CaCO3 limestone. So CaCO3, when it is heated, you are getting that CaO and CO2. The CO2 is used up here and the CaO material is there. That CaO material will be converted into CaCl2. One of the byproduct we can write as CaCl2 during the process. During the recovery of ammonia without wastage, as ammonium salts you will get here. So during this ammonium bicarbonate, when it is reacted with sodium chloride, you will get compound as ammonium chloride. From ammonium chloride again, if you are getting that as ammonia, so CaO plus ammonium chloride, then we can get again NH3, CaCl2 and H2O. So NH3, H2O are again used for this process, and one of the byproduct we can write as CaCl2. Ammonia soda Solvay process or simply Solvay process for the recovery of ammonia. Next, highest flocculating power, not value, they are asking that power. Highest flocculating power for the coagulation of negatively charged sol. Negative sol is coagulated by a positive material, positive electrolyte. And the positive electrolyte, if it has more positive charge of magnitude, then it has more power of coagulation. So positive ion with more charge, more positive charge, Na plus Be plus 2, among the two we have Be plus 2, because the remaining two are anions, right? And that is the session paper. Thank you.